Every house makes noises. It's just a fact of life. Pipes knock, wood creaks as it settles, and the wind always finds those little cracks you never knew existed. If you stay in one place long enough, you just stop listening. You tune it all out. And that's exactly how it gets you. I moved into 14 Briarwood Lane right after my divorce. The price was so low it almost felt like an apology from the universe. The realtor, a woman with a smile that never quite reached her eyes, didn't say much. She just unlocked the door, handed me the keys, and said, "It's been empty a while." That was an understatement. The neighborhood was eerily quiet. No dogs barking, no kids playing in the street. I never saw anyone outside. The first day, I spotted a neighbor across the street and gave a friendly wave. He just turned his head away, quick, like he hadn't seen me at all. Strange, but I brushed it off. Inside, the house had a smell. It wasn't dirty, more mused. It smelled like something had lived there for a very, very long time and left deep traces of itself behind. The scent clung to the air, a constant reminder that I wasn't the first person to call this place home. The first night, I had a nightmare. I dreamed that someone was standing in my hallway just outside my bedroom door. I couldn't make out a face or any details, just a dark shape blocking the faint light from the living room window. A silhouette, and it was just watching. I woke up with a jolt, my heart pounding. The first thing I noticed was that my bedroom door was wide open. I always sleep with it closed. Always. I chalked it up to being in a new place. Maybe I'd forgotten. But a cold knot of dread was already forming in my stomach. By the third night, the whispering started. At first, it was so faint I thought I was imagining it. It seemed to come from inside the walls, soft and distant, like hearing a conversation in another room. I got out of bed and pressed my ear against the cold drywall, listening intently. Nothing. The moment I stepped back, the whispering stopped, and that's when I realized it. The sound had been reacting to me. It knew I was listening. On the fifth day, things got personal. I was in the living room, sunlight streaming through the dusty window, when I saw it, my name, written in the thick layer of dust on the glass. Mark. The letters were large and uneven, like they'd been traced by a child's finger. I wiped it away immediately, a nervous laugh escaping my lips. I tried to rationalize it, telling myself that stress does strange things to a person. Maybe I did it myself, in a daze, and just didn't remember. It was a flimsy excuse, and I knew it. That night, I heard my name again. But this time, it wasn't a whisper. It was clear, Mark. The voice was dry, a rustle of dead leaves, and it came from the bottom of the staircase. I froze in my bed, pulling the covers up to my chin. I didn't answer. I just lay there, listening to the suffocating silence that followed. A week after I moved in, I finally managed to speak to a neighbor. I saw an older man outside, watering a patch of completely dead grass. His focus on the withered lawn was so intense it was unnerving. I walked over, desperate for some human contact. "Hi, I'm Mark. I just moved in over there, I said, pointing to my house. He didn't look at me. His eyes were fixed on my house, staring past me. You live there, he stated. It wasn't a question. Yeah, I replied, my voice a little shaky. His face tightened, wrinkles deepening around his eyes. It's learning you, he said, his voice low and serious. Before I could even ask what on earth that meant, he dropped his hose, turned, and went back inside. The click of his front door locking echoing in the silent street. It's learning you. The words played over and over in my head. A few nights later, the power went out. The whole house plunged into darkness. The circuit breaker had tripped, which meant a trip down to the basement. I'd been avoiding it. The door at the top of the stairs seemed to radiate a coldness that had nothing to do with the temperature. Armed with my phone's flashlight, I descended the creaking wooden steps. The air down there was damp and heavy, smelling of earth and something else. Something metallic. One bare bulb flickered overhead, casting long, dancing shadows. As my light swept across the concrete floor, I noticed something near the central drain, markings. They were scratched deep into the concrete. I knelt down, my light trembling. They were names. Dozens of them, maybe more. Some were old and faded, others looked newer. A few had been aggressively crossed out, scratched over until they were almost illegible. My heart stopped. At the very bottom of the list, looking impossibly fresh, was my name. Mark. It hadn't been there before. I was sure of it. I scrambled back up the stairs, my breath coming in ragged gasps, and didn't stop shaking for an hour. That night, I had the dream again, but it was different. The hallway outside my bedroom door was no longer normal. It stretched on and on, impossibly long, like a tunnel into darkness. And the walls were pulsing. A faint rhythmic beat, like something massive, was breathing just beneath the plaster. And at the far end of that impossibly long hall stood the silhouette. It was clearer this time, more defined. It raised a hand, beckoning me forward. Then it spoke. But the voice that came from the darkness was my own. "You can stay," it said, my own voice echoing back at me. "If you follow the rules." I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat, my lungs burned. As my eyes adjusted to the dim light of my room, I saw something on my nightstand. A single piece of paper, folded neatly. I hadn't put it there. My hands were trembling so badly I could barely pick it up. I unfolded it. On it, written in that same messy, finger-traced script, was a list. Rule number 1.